reconnected and free. Find new paths. This is your podcast space for deep life lessons and raw reflections from an open-end world journey and a soul-led life. Hosted by Maya. Let's reconnect. Wait, why? And what does that mean? I only know connect. We will talk about exactly this and why this is so important for you. Yeah, to spoiler the why it's so important for you and the background first, so you can lean back and know it's important for you to really listen. Yeah, reconnection is so important for you when you want to find and walk your own path. When you want to be aligned, when you want to be more content and more happy in your life. And we're talking about reconnection and connection, like both, and they go hand in hand, and we need a bit to separate them to understand them better. We're talking about this because of you finding yourself, your own way, and being more happy, as I said. And also, of course, because this is also the main theme of this podcast of my work. Yeah, so we know that you want to find and walk your own path. And this is a process that you can walk again and again and again, and is really essential for you and your happy life. And the foundation of that is the connection. Connection needs to be built up again, to reconnect. Because in our everyday life and in our current world situation, there are so many distractions. There are so many things that want our attention that don't suit us very well. For example, living in big cities drains a lot of energy sometimes. Other people's opinions, people that don't make us feel good, take our energy. But what we are really missing is a real connection. A real connection to our surroundings, to other beings, to nature, and also to ourselves. We got lost somehow on the way. And this has many reasons why we are so lost, but I'm talking about this in the episode of Finding Our Own Way. And I feel like the sun is coming, so I'm just moving a little bit for you. So, yeah, we want to connect to many things again. So it's a reconnection. And it's a reconnection because it's not the first time that we are really connecting. When we came to this earth, when we were little beings, we were connected. We wanted to touch everything. We wanted to be outside. We were exploring everything. We even sometimes ate dirt. It was such a different experience, and we also wanted to have to do with other beings, touching cats and dogs and other people and so on. And we were more aligned with ourselves, more connected with ourselves. We were in our own little bubble, our own little world. But the latest, when school came, when more outside influences came, when people thought and told us that we need to do certain things, that certain things are expected from us, that's when we started to live more for the outside. So from the outside to the inside and not from the inside to the outside. Means someone is telling us something is important, we need to behave a certain way, we need to do something a certain way, we need to achieve a certain thing, then we did that. Because they need to know. When they are telling it to us, because they are more experienced, they need to know. Yeah. Not always. So it's important for us to get back to this connection, and this getting back is the I'm talking about. And this is so beautiful when you're here and realizing, hey, I want this. I want to get back into this connection. I want to reconnect. I really feel like this is what I need for going my path, because this can be a solution why you haven't found your path yet, because you're so full of everything going on in the outside, or not feeling also what is there inside of you, what you really want. Yeah, that's then important to reconnect, and also to to be happier on a everyday life base also. We have many opportunities, many possibilities how we can reconnect again. And I think one important thing I talked about also in the episode of Finding Your Own Way is that we need to create some kind of space. So we create space so we are in silent. We let go of things so other things can find us. So, for example, letting go of old connections with other people who don't feel like they still need to be here, to work on ourselves to await what's coming, so new connections are finding us. Other people that are more suitable for our new life goals and life situation. Reconnection means to get to know yourself better on different levels. You're such an individual. You're an individual with many facilities. You're like, for example, your body, your mind, and your soul. You're not the same person as you were yesterday, and you will change today, so you won't be the same person tomorrow. So you are in this consistent change, and with that to be said, it's really good when we start to listen to our heart again, to always be curious about this world and ourselves, like this whole inner world we have inside of us that we suppressed, that we haven't looked at. This is where the messages are. There's what you want to know, what you need to know. There's no other person who can tell you what you really want to know. It's inside of you. So yeah, how else can we reconnect when we're not sitting there in silence or getting to know ourselves better through different activities or things or in talks with other people or inspiration like this podcast, books, maybe also social media, whatever comes to your mind. The essence is most obvious, but also not obvious at all in our society these days. It's nature. We're so lost these days, so in all the things that we made up, that we created, all these materials somehow that aren't like the origin, the base anymore. And you know how good it feels compared to being stuck in traffic, in buildings where it's all just so tiny? When you're just connecting again with what's there, with nature. And it may be strange at first. And maybe people are looking at you and wondering what's wrong with you. What are you doing there? But this is okay. Are they the happiest they could be? Or are you trying to be like that? Yeah, you're on the way. And that's great. So what is great about nature is that we have so many possibilities and opportunities what we can do and how we can do that. We can explore nature. We can be out and about with other people or alone. We can just do grounding, which is like the biggest part of everything. Grounding, like being barefoot, walking on grass or in the woods or at the beach. Touching raw materials from nature, really going there with your sensations, letting it sink in, and getting back to your true nature and your relationship to nature also with what you're consuming. And sometimes all you need is just to, for example, with this view, just watch far, have a look that's far. Because we're so often just looking at our devices, and this just is such a brain fuck, and it's so bad for us long term. But from time to time, to just look far and in nature, this also gives you a wider look for your own life, because you're not so focused on what's there right now and what is the problem, but what could be solutions, possibilities, opportunities, your vision, to zoom out, to get the whole picture. And this is what is needed from us. This is so needed. And as I said, it's also about your relationship with nature. Are you disgusted by what's going on, by all these animals and by the dirt? Or are you fascinated? You don't have to like everything that's around you, but just to be open, to be fascinated, to see how it works for you, how it can help you. And also for nature, this is like one example for a relationship that is needed for you to strengthen also. Other relationships and the reconnection with other people. With other people, you might get to know, you already know. How are you treating others? Are you doing your best? Are you making others feel good and support them? And how about the relationship with yourself? Do you feel like you know yourself, your true self? Do you like yourself? How much are you talking to yourself? You can also work on that relationship. And this is like an inner world that is affecting the outer world. With everything you're doing to yourself, with yourself, how you're in the inner world, this is creating everything in the outside. And you can easily create and go on creating the same thing again and again and again in the chaos. Or create magic. Everything fall in its place. Everything finding you. Everything being easy. Everything feeling like you're not separate. You're like part of everything. You're being held. You're feeling like you belong here. And you're like on your own path. So it's a lot about the feeling we get through reconnection. But it's also about strength and knowing for finding and continuing going and taking your own path. It's needed from us to get back into that connection. So it's benefiting you, it's benefiting your surroundings, and also the world, because the world needs us right now. Nature needs us. We need to get back to nature and to honoring her, honoring Mother Earth, and to work together to stop destroying nature, animals, our surroundings, but to start to get into peace again. Peacefully being with every being. Not letting them grow and then brutally murdering them to eat them just for pleasure. Not cutting off all the trees so that the animals don't have a place to live anymore. And to destroy our ecosystem. No. When we are destroying our outside nature, we are destroying ourselves too. And this is something we all have to realize, that everything is interconnected. And what you're doing at your smallest part, at your microcosm, affects macrocosm, affects everything big. Everything has ripple effects. So your connection is important to everything. So I'm so grateful that you are here and that you are on this path of reconnecting. And I'm honored to go this path together with you. And of course, I will tell you so much more about connecting, reconnecting, about nature, about the relationships with yourself and other people and your beings around you. And this was just a glimpse. This was just an overview. We'll go deeper into this in other podcast episodes, and also, of course, on my Instagram account and in my work in general. As I'm said, thank you for being part of this movement and this beautiful community. You're doing something really important for yourself, your surroundings, and every other being on this earth. Thank you for being here. This podcast accompanies you through big changes, life's questions, and the beauty of finding your own way. If what touched your heart today, I'd love to read that in the comments. If you want daily insights and travel life and direct learnings, then make sure to follow me on Instagram. The links are, as always, in the show notes. Keep walking your path. Much love, yours Maya.